Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. Everybody on the replay, anyways, if it gets replayed. I'll wait for if anyone shows up. So I sat here for 2 days trying to figure out this program. Man, it is not the easiest thing to do. It's really not. And I try my hardest. I do my best, considering, I just had neck surgery and then I fought COVID. I try, I really do. I try hard. And I still don't got it. So they say having a second screen works, but I don't know how to get it to work. So I have to deal with just one, and then I got to pull up a second screen, a second tab, so I can see as I'm scrolling through StreamYard. So it's just, I try. But anyways, we are going to talk about the weekend news events because there's a lot of things that went down this weekend. And I didn't want to go live right away for each individual thing. And I kind of want to keep this at maybe an hour and a half. Because the longer it is, you're going to get bored. I'm going to get bored. And there's a new trial, I'm pretty sure, going to start this week. Not a new trial, it's a retrial of the Harrington case. The one out of Old Mississippi. So I'm thinking maybe of covering that one. I didn't cover the first one. Actually, I think I was having my surgery when that went on, so I really wasn't up to date on all the cases that were going down at the moment because I was trying to recover. But we're going to do the mass shooting that happened in Alabama, the mother that took out her 2 children in Texas at a gas station, or she called from the gas station. The 17-year-old that was arrested in New Jersey after running down 2 teenage girls. And I'm going to go over just a little bit of the deaths in Houston. I'm not going to go into depth of, each individual victim. But I do see they're trying to locate one victim that's got 888 on her wrist. So if you're from Houston and you know someone with the tattoo 888 on their wrist, maybe this might be your person. Contact your local law enforcement. I have an infinity sign that my daughter put on my wrist that she did it with poke. It was a poke. It was a poke situation, and man, it was a lot of pokes. So anyways, I'm just going to get busy on going over. So let's make this bigger. All right. I forgot. I have to pull up the other stream. Okay. All right. So it says 2 people are dead, including a teen, and dozen other people are injured following a mass shooting in downtown Montgomery late Saturday night. Montgomery police said it happened near Bibb Street and Commerce Street around 11:30 p.m. when 2 groups began shooting at each other in the middle of the crowd. Wow. So let's go ahead and watch the
news is happening right now.
News.
People who did what they did, who are responsible. for opening fire on each other like that, did not care about the people around them when they did it. And now we have 14 people who have been shot.
Well, the Montgomery police chief vowing not to rest until they found the people responsible for last night's mass shooting. Thanks so much for joining us here at 5 o'clock. I'm Jarvis Robertson. Now, it happened around 11:30 last night as the city was hosting several weekend events. Of the 14 people the chief mentioned, 2 of the victims have died. That's 17-year-old Jeremiah Morris and 43-year-old Shalonda Williams. Now, 5 of the victims are said to be in life-threatening condition. Police believe one of the people shot was targeted and others in the crowd fired back. Now, as the search for suspects continued today, WVTM 13's Aaron Llewellyn is live near the scene in Montgomery Forest. So, Aaron, what have you been able to see now that there is daylight outside?
Yeah, Jarvis, earlier today when we first got to Montgomery, I did talk to an investigator, and she told me that where I am standing right here at the corner of Bibb Street and Commerce Street is exactly near the area where those shots were fired last night, taking the lives of 2 people and injuring a dozen more, excuse me. So we know that this is a pretty high volume area with traffic. We can see that there are people who are walking around here. Again, we did see that there were investigators that were in the area trying to piece together what happened last night. Now, we did see again that there are some people who are walking around and also enjoying the area. And if we turn this way, we can see that there is a memorial that has been started with flowers that are being placed along the trees that are lining the street here. Now, we did see that there were police cars in the area that were blocking the street off as well, again, as those investigators were looking at the scene here. And we did look at the press conference that happened earlier today, and the city is standing firmly that the shooting is not related to the Morehouse Tuskegee Classic, the Alabama State Homecoming, or the Alabama National Fair. They said that the people who were involved in the shooting didn't care about the people who were around them when it happened. Now, police say that the 7 of the people who were shot are younger than 20 years old, with the youngest being 16. So you can only imagine how people feel about the lives who were lost and are going to be affected by the shooting.
Last night's incident was unfortunate, but it was certainly avoidable. It was an incident of bad judgment, selfish behavior, and one that truly put the lives of many innocent people in danger.
Now, police did tell us during that press conference that there were guns that were recovered from the scene here and that they had a high capacity of magazines. So you can only imagine how many shots were fired during that time. That took the lives of 2 people and injured dozens. So we do, or a dozen, excuse me. So we do know that police are still investigating. Again, we have seen people in the area investigating, taking a look at the scene here. So anytime that we have new information, we will bring that to you on air and online. For now, we are live here in Montgomery. Aaron Llewellyn, WVTM 13.
Aaron, thanks. Now, authorities are...
Wow. I mean, selfish. Why? I don't understand. I just don't understand why this would happen. And, you know, they're not really getting into great detail. Like, I watched the live stuff go down on another channel. So this, we just watched the updated. So the governor issued a statement after the mass shooting near state capitol. So let's go over that. It takes me a minute. Okay. Let's hear what the governor has to say. Oh, it didn't come up. I wonder. Oh, there we go. I'm trying to make it smaller so I can see. But it says, Governor, oh, I might be muted. Governor Kay Ivey. You gotta look here. Governor Kay Ivey is responding to a mass shooting in Montgomery that left 2 dead and 12 injured late Saturday night close to Alabama State Capitol. Alabamians lost their lives at the hands of thugs in downtown Montgomery this weekend. First and foremost, we pray for the loved ones of those lives taken from us, as well as those innocent people injured, including some still fighting for their lives. With Montgomery Police Department officers a short distance away, shots were exchanged over a crowded downtown Montgomery Saturday night. This simply should not be happening in our capital city or anywhere in our state for that matter. Any and all involved must be held accountable and prosecuted to the fullest, and I will do everything in my power to make sure that happens. We, the state, have previously and continue to take steps to target the crime in Montgomery, which has ranged from us deploying our MACS unit to passing our new laws. Unfortunately, you can't fix stupid. She for real said that. You can't fix stupid. It is clear that to have a safe Montgomery, it is going to take more than these steps. Over the last day, I have continued discussions on what more can be done. That discussion continues and resolutions will not happen overnight, but we will be taking a few additional immediate steps. Ensuring safe communities is the number one priority for government in all levels, local, state, and federal. And unfortunately, I still feel the need for the state to further intervene in Montgomery and to have an even greater role in leading public safety efforts in our capital city. With that said, we are beginning to take additional steps from the state level to deter crime in Montgomery. To start, in addition with our MAX unit, I have asked my ALEA Secretary, Hal Taylor, to extend the patrol area for our Capitol troopers to include other key downtown areas. Well, I think I would have done that way before now. I will plan on asking the legislature to support additional resources to allow our state law enforcement present to be more effective in downtown Montgomery. We will also continue to discuss how we can work better with Montgomery City and county law enforcement to ensure zero tolerance for crime in Montgomery. I am also asking my ABC Administrator, Curtis Stewart, to review our laws, expectations, and requirements regarding entities who are licensed to sell alcohol, especially those in highly populated and heavily traveled areas, as well as for the special events where the sale and consumption of alcohol is taking place after 5 p.m. within the city of Montgomery. Let me be clear. All available state assets are being discussed and all options remain on the table. Montgomery is a special place filled with history, great potential, and strong community of people. There is too much at stake here. And as a longtime resident of Montgomery myself, I cannot stand by and allow this to continue. Governor Kay Ivey. Well, that's what the governor has to say. I think a lot of things that she said probably should have already been done, considering this isn't the first crime that's happened. You know, it's like it just continues. So let's watch the press conference that they had that night of the shooting. I'm trying to find it. I think this might be it. No, I'm looking for the one that they had that night. that they had the night of the shooting. Let me go to YouTube. I'm going to try YouTube because I'm not seeing it in Google. That's the video I was watching. Bretterstein. I love her. I watch her every Monday morning. I know they were standing outside. I must have. Okay. All right, we'll go with this. I'm trying to turn it down. So I got a lot of problems still with the new internet. I got to call them today. So maybe I'll make that phone call real quick while we're watching this. So I can get somebody out here to look at my...
wasn't open up for any questions that you may have. Last night's incident was unfortunate, but it was certainly avoidable. It was an incident of bad judgment, selfish behavior, and one that truly put the lives of many innocent people in danger. This weekend, we had thousands of people come to our city for things like the state fair, for things like homecomings and other football games that we've had going on, along with other events that have been going on around the city. 99.99% of people have been great. Our community partners have been great. Our law enforcement has been outstanding in covering these events and covering things in the city. Our community has been great. A lot of great fun that has been had and shared along these last several days. But unfortunately, it only took one or two bad people with bad intentions to change not only their fortunes, but the fortunes of many other innocent people. People who really should not have been caught in anything that took place, and something again that we prepared for. Talking with Chief Great Boys leading up to this weekend, talking about coverage at the state fair, talking about coverage at ASU's homecoming, talking about coverage at the Morehouse Ski Classic, and talking about coverage in our neighborhoods for those who are just going about their day. Our law enforcement officers were not off. They're encouraged not to be off, strongly encouraged. They adhere to that. They sacrifice. They miss some ball games, they missed some birthdays because they were protecting and serving this community. And even with that, and having a couple of units within a short distance we had something like this happen because of a disagreement, because of something that, again, we believe could have been avoided and should have been. And I want the community to be well aware that for us, this is not acceptable. We're not going to normalize this. We're going to do whatever we can, not only to arrest those responsible, we're going to do whatever we can to arrest those connected in any way, who knew what may have happened or who knew what could take place. We're not going just to stop with those folks that were pulling the trigger last night. For us, it's a lot deeper than that because the impact is a lot deeper than that. The impact is beyond those who are physically injured, those who are mentally and emotionally injured, those who are working downtown, those who live downtown, those who do business and own businesses downtown. That's a problem for us. And so, see, Great Boys and I have been in talks consistently throughout the night about this issue and this incident. And we're going to leverage all the resources and all the partnerships that we have to them. So I want us just to be very clear that this is not going to be accepted here. And we're going to look at every issue that we can. We'll look at every ordinance that we can talk to the city council about. If we find some bad actors, then we're going to talk to them about that and ask for their support, which they've already agreed to give. But we're going to look at everything that we can because this does not fit Montgomery. This is not who we are. This is not who we have been. When you have all the events going on that we had this weekend, with a lot of celebration, a lot of economic impact, a lot of goodwill and support for charities, Kiwanis Club, so many other organizations that are doing good things. It is just, to me, very problematic that it only took one or two people a few seconds to do something very stupid and very dangerous that cost the lives of two people right now and may impact many, many others moving forward. And with that, I just want to say to the families, we were praying for you since we heard about this. Our church prayed for the entire community. I know faith leaders who reached out to me all around this community did so as well. We're grateful for those prayers, and we're grateful for the actions as well of innocent people who came to help their neighbor, who came to help people and strangers they didn't even know before this circumstance, before this situation. So we're going to be in touch with those families, and we're going to make sure those families understand how much we grieve with them. And we know that it may not be the same as someone who has lost that person who they were just talking to minutes or hours before. They won't have that opportunity again. And for those that are injured and may not necessarily have the same outcome, but who have physical and mental scars that will have to be dealt with moving forward. So we're going to talk to them, and I plan to reach out to them, specifically myself, and we're going to continue to make sure this is a top line priority, not only for our city, but our community. And I think by looking at the leadership that we have here, again, across the city and across the county, you can tell that this is all hands on deck, and everybody's on one accord to do whatever needs to be done to make sure we bring the criminals to justice swiftly, and that we make sure justice is served severely. To send a message that this is not going to be accepted in Montgomery now or at any time moving forward.
Okay, well, sounds like they're trying to do something, to get rid of all the crime in this area. It's wild. Okay, well, let's continue.
With that, the Chief Great Voice provide any facts and details, and then I'll come back and I'll take questions, and I'll close it out with some other thoughts that we want to share as well. Chief.
Thanks, sir. collecting my thoughts right now because of how angry I am. So I'll ask your forbearance as some of that might show through. Last night at 11:31, our officers responded to reports of shootings that they could hear over there at the corner of Bibb and Commerce Streets. As a result of this incident, we now presently have 14 confirmed total victims of this shooting. Of those 14 confirmed victims, 2 are deceased. 2 are no longer with us. "17-year-old Jeremiah Morris is unfortunately no longer with us. 43-year-old Shalonda Williams is no longer with us, both deceased from this incident. And of course, as I stated, there was 14 total victims. These 2 were among them. So of course, my feelings of anger and my heart is out there for their families. 5 of the victims have now life-threatening injuries. That's where we are presently. 5 have life-threatening injuries. 7 have non-life-threatening injuries. Breakdown of this bothers me, and every victim bothers me. I take it very personally. But this is of note. 7 of the victims are under the age of 20. The youngest of these victims is 16 years old. We know there are multiple calibers of ammunition used in this incident. We recovered multiple shell casings from multiple different weapons. We also recovered multiple weapons from the scene of this incident. We know that at least 2 of the victims, 2 of these 14 people, were armed in this incident. This started as a result of an individual, one of these 14, who we believe was targeted, in which basically an exchange of gunfire erupted. When that exchange erupted, multiple people in the crowd, this was a crowded area, pulled their own weapons and started discharging. Now, as you can imagine, that could be a very chaotic situation, and every weapon has to be accounted for, and every piece of evidence has to be processed. Now, one thing I want to make perfectly clear, we are bringing every resource to bear. I've been in communication with multiple federal agencies, from the ATF to the FBI to the U.S. Attorney's Office. I've been in communication with U.S. Marshals. My officers have been in communication with the Alabama Fusion Center. Been in communication with Montgomery County Sheriff's Office. I've been in communication with Alabama Law Enforcement Agency. And of course, we've been in communication with the Montgomery County DA's office as well. I'm making this clear because every one of these agencies stands with us and is working with us to pursue the individuals responsible. Now, one thing I want to make clear too is that purposefully I will not release any information that I believe will compromise this investigation. So when we do open it up, I will answer questions as well as I can, but I want people to understand this investigation we are laser focused on, and we are not going to let anything distract us from going after the individuals responsible. I've been in communication with Crime Stoppers, and one thing I want people to be aware of, if anybody has any information, you have a responsibility for this community and to help the people in this community to give that information to us. And I would ask people to call Crime Stoppers at 215-STOP. That's an area code 334.
Absolutely. If you just by some chance come across my video and you know any information about this shooting, call that number. And I'm pretty sure you can remain anonymous and all that stuff. Try to get this all figured out. I mean, these people need justice. This kid was 17 years old. I mean, and the other lady was 41. Like, come on, people.
Number actually is 215-7867. They are offering a $5,000 reward to any information that leads to an arrest in this case. Now, we have been questioning multiple individuals in relation to this case as we piece this together, because we really have to reconstruct it to know exactly what took place and to make sure that appropriate charges are brought when we make the charges. But I cannot emphasize enough that we will pursue every avenue available to us, and we're doing it unceaselessly. Never ceasing. All of us have been up for hours and hours and hours, and I will tell you, we are not going to stop until we get this case solved. If anybody has any video information or videos they believe that they have taken that will help us in this investigation, I'm going to give you all an email address. It's spelled starcenter@montgomeryal.gov. Again, that is starcenter@montgomeryal.gov. My personal opinion is this was very, very much preventable, because individuals who pulled the trigger are responsible for this. They carried those weapons into this crowd. And at any time, they could have walked away from this or walked away from whatever was happening, but they did not. And a bullet, once fired, does not come back. Montgomery's a good town, full of fighters, full of good people. We will not tolerate this. And I'll guarantee you that. Thank you.
I really want to make a couple of points of clarification. I want to thank Chief and again all the men and women of Montgomery Police.
Y'all, that man ain't playing. Do you see how he stands at a stance? He's a military man, you can tell. He's not playing. He's gonna get him. They're coming for you. Better hide. Actually, don't hide. Just stand outside.
Department, Alabama Law Enforcement Agency, Montgomery County Sheriff's Office, Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, FBI, Capitol Police, DA's office, everybody that has been a part of this over these last several hours. Also, recognize some of the council members that were here. I know we had council members Raleigh, Johnson, and Mitchell, who were also out there last night with some of the families as well. So I want to recognize them. And again, that's about 3/4 of the council that's either been there or here. So it shows you again level of involvement, level of seriousness we're taking this as a city. But I do want to make a couple of points of clarification I've seen in some early reporting. This was in no way related to the events that were happening in the city. It was not related to Alabama State University's homecoming. I went to Alabama State University's homecoming. Had an opportunity to meet with community members, leaders, alumni, fans, as well as the president and his staff and board of trustee leaders. Great event. Fantastic for the city, and again, very few problems were had there. This was not connected in any way to the Morehouse Tuskegee Classic. Again, had the opportunity to talk with community leaders, the president, both institutions, corporate leaders, Walmart and others. Great event, great crowd, really, really great feedback, seeing people of all ages come out to witness what has been a big weekend planned in our city for several weeks. So I want to be clear that where this happened was not a sanctioned party or gathering by any of those entities, be it the HBCU Classic Weekend or Alabama State University's homecoming or Morehouse Tuskegee's homecoming whatsoever. That's a local place with local establishment, and unfortunately most of the victims, as far as we know, were local and unaffiliated with the institutions or those activities that I mentioned. They were not connected to the Alabama State Fair. So again, a lot of people out there, a lot of preparation, a lot of work, a lot of sacrifice on behalf of dedicated law enforcement professionals. Nothing out of the ordinary there. So I want to stress that, because I think sometimes there's a lot of things out there, in particular on social media, that potentially people try to craft and play detective. We've got great detectives here and throughout who are already on this, and I just want to make sure that's clear so as not to besmirch any of those organizations that were doing so much and have done so much to bring people here to our city. Second thing I want to say is that when you have people who are willing to draw down in a crowded area, that's reckless and dangerous enough. When you have people who are willing to do that with police officers in plain sight within short distance, I'm not sure if those people can be reacclimated to our society. I'm not sure that they can be productive citizens in our society. If you're that determined to try to take someone's life at the expense of others, I'm not sure those are people that we can allow back into our society, because the risk is just too great. And I want to thank again our law enforcement professionals and everybody who helped us identify some suspects, who helped us identify and apprehend some people who were close by, some people who had guns on them. Now, it was yet to be determined whether or not those guns were connected to this crime, but certainly had guns on them. And we're going to find others. But when people are that reckless when it comes to human life, that's a problem. And that's a problem that's going to be a lot deeper than what we'll talk about, at least here today. But it's something that I think we have to talk about as a community. We have to have some tough conversations around that. Who wants to be saved and who can be saved? Not everybody wants to be saved. And we have to find out who those people are. And we have to take things in our perspective to be proactive to protect this community. There's too many good people here working hard, doing great things to help this community prosper and move forward, for it to be just set on fire by people who are just committed to destruction and committed to bringing about physical harm, regardless of who it comes to, because of their short-sighted emotions and how they deal with conflict and how they deal with disagreements. Because conflict and disagreements are as old as mankind. How we deal with it is the only thing that's changed. And so it used to be a time when there was a disagreement, might be a fist fight. I'm born and raised in Montgomery. I've seen plenty of them. And it was that. And now we're in this place where you don't do that because everybody feels like they have to have a gun. Everybody feels like this is a wild, wild west. And so you lose innocent people over something very simple that could be worked out, that even maybe without pushing and shoving, could be de-escalated. And we have what we have now, innocent people who are harmed and many more who are impacted. So I just wanted to mention that And then finally, I want to say this: $5,000 isn't enough to bring the cowards to justice. I put $20,000 on that, and we're going to make that $25,000.
Maybe 50.
We had another $25,000 from our city council president, from the council that's here. Thank you. Thank all of you. And this shouldn't be about reward money. You should feel compelled to come forward because innocent people were harmed last night, and most were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Could have been any one of us. I was just out of town the weekend before. No different.
You know, and he's right. It could have been. It can be anybody, any one of us. It can be a victim of a crime. Some of us make it, some of us don't. It's unfortunate, that we have these weapons and people. I'm not against weapons at all. I don't even want to get into that conversation. Weapons and politics are two things I want to leave out of my streams. But you have to be responsible if you're going to be a gun owner. Stop buying guns off the streets. Come on, let's help our world. Let's help each other. I mean, we can't go out ill and all of everybody. It's crazy.
And we got to make sure that, again, we don't accept this. And so I thank our city council for just doing that. But $50,000 is what we're going to be right now. And we want those who know to come forward. Not because you want the money, because you know it's what's right. And you know it's the right thing to do for people who should not have been in this situation, that have been harmed by it. More importantly, to remove the people who were behind us. And I want to be very, very clear. We're going to see this all the way through. And if there's legislation we need to change, then we'll change legislation. There are things we need to change in the bail and bonds laws, then we'll change the bail and bonds laws. But we're not going to just sit here and do the same thing over and over and over again. We're not going to do that. That's not fair to the victims. It's not fair to the families. It's not fair to this community. We're just not going to do that. So if we have to tighten things up, if we have to take a different position, then so be it. We'll do that. But dangerous criminals and people who are this reckless with human life don't deserve to be free. They don't deserve to walk our streets. That's not anything you are promised. That's something that is an opportunity, is a blessing. And if you can't do that, then you don't need to be on our streets, period. So with that, I'll open up for any questions you may have for myself, Chief Great Boys, and we'll take them there.
Chief, Mario Romney, Montgomery Advertiser, could you verify the name spellings of the deceased victims, please? I'm sorry.
Certainly, sir. Jeremiah Morse is, from the spelling I have at present, Jeremiah, last name Morris. And the other victim is Shalonda Williams, spelled Shalanda, last name Williams.
Were they both Montgomery residents?
At present, we believe so.
All right. Any other questions?
Do we have any indication of what led to the initial altercation?
At present, we know, like I stated earlier, one individual got targeted and then an exchange of gunfire took place. We are still investigating, you could state, the motives and the reasons behind some of that. We do have leads coming in, though, that are helping us shape that. But I can't say further than that because, like I stated before, I'm not going to compromise anything because this is going to be a very complex investigation with multiple suspects when we finish it up.
How many officers were working in the downtown area last night?
I would have to refer to my worksheets, but I know that we had at least 5 in close proximity to this case.
When you say close proximity, you mean 50
So I'm
feet?
talking within like running distance. Okay, but like I stated, I would have to check if you want an exact number back and talk about the folks who responded to it and how fast they did, and they were very fast on that. When the mayor said that there was an officer not 50 feet away, he was right.
I'm going to ask this question with an apology beforehand, because I know how hard y'all been working and how nerves are raw. But my editor told me to ask it. Does this mean downtown Montgomery is unsafe?
Okay, can I answer that first? You can check out. Let me say this. You know, I think when you get in a car accident, you say driving is unsafe. You know, I don't think that downtown Montgomery is unsafe. Let me be very clear about that. I think we have some reckless and careless people who did something very stupid last night that cost 2 people their lives and multiple people.
That's what I just said. They're just stupid people that have such high morals that they think that they can go out in the streets with a gun that's probably not theirs, that has no serial number on it, and start taking everybody out. It's just crazy.
Impacts on the lives from now until. I think the investment in technology that we have increased just over the last several months has proved beneficial. I think our police department, Chief Grayboy's outreach with the Downtown Business Association has been productive. I think our conversations with major stakeholders in that area, whether it's the State Capitol Police, whether it's those that assist with the retirement systems of Alabama's buildings, as well as our entrepreneurs and small business owners. There's been a great collaboration, teamwork, and effectiveness there. The fact that we are having discussions right now in our city council about investing hundreds of millions of dollars to further grow downtown through tourism and things that benefit our city overall, I think is an indication that we believe downtown is safe. And again, I'll go back to what I said before. You had thousands of people who were downtown. We had the investiture of Dr. Anthony Lee over at Huntington on Friday. I mean, just a great, you couldn't really ask to me for better weekend weather and activity involved to see people from all around coming through our city and coming through these spaces for different reasons at different times. What we had were some individuals who decided that they were going to put innocent lives at risk because of whatever issues or whatever disagreements or whatever conflicts they had. And I don't think it would have mattered if it was on 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue or it was on the steps of the Capitol. I think that was going to happen. And what we have to do is we have to make sure that from our standpoint, we send a strong message, a direct message that this is not acceptable. And if you do it in our city, you're going to pay a heavy price. And you're going to pay a heavy price, and the public's going to be aware of it. If it means making sure that there's a public example made of the people that are behind this, so be it. You just heard the city council match what we just said as it relates to this reward. This should not be about that, as I said a second ago. But if that's what it takes to bring these people to justice, if it takes, again, us advocating to our judges, it takes advocating to our legislature about some laws that need to be changed about repeat violent offenders, even if it's just in Montgomery County, then we'll do whatever we have to do. So I don't think that's an indication on downtown. I think it's an indication on the individuals who are responsible for this. This is not about the location. This is about the people involved. And this is about the recklessness and the decisions they made that have impacted many other people beyond themselves. And they have to be held accountable for that. And we're going to do everything in our power to make sure they're held accountable to it and to make sure other people understand just what that accountability costs. all right? Because if you take 2 lives here, you impact as many as they have, again, it wouldn't matter if it was around the corner from my house. The same thing should apply. That you ought to have a level of respect and dignity for human life. That's what being in a civilized society demands. And if you can't be in a civilized society, you don't need to be on our streets, period. And so this is not about downtown. This is about the individuals combined. Chief Brayboy's not talked about technology from drones to cameras leading up to this. And again, by and large, across the board, our partners in law enforcement, our community has responded very, very well. Couldn't be more proud of how this community embraced everything that was going on here all at one time. Men and women in Montgomery Police Department, outstanding job. All of our partners in law enforcement, outstanding. And again, if you got people that are from here to down this hall and they want to do something, I don't know there's anything a drone or camera or any other amount of men and women are going to do. But I also think that will help us close this case very swiftly. And I think the community's partnership and the community's interest in it will help as well. We've got a lot of great feedback, a lot of officer support. And those are people who don't necessarily come downtown all the time. And they don't necessarily stay out past 9 or 10 o'clock. But they know this is their community. And they have pride in their community. They want to make sure that we don't let some people disrupt and destroy some of the things that too many people have put a lot of time and effort and energy in doing. So I want to respond to that question because, again, I think it's very, very important for us to understand when we partner with our city, when we partner with our county and our business owners and our faith leaders and grassroots leaders here, it's to serve everybody, wherever part of town that may be. And unfortunately, sometimes people with bad intentions tend to go where innocent people are, but they have to pay a price. They have to pay a heavy price, and they have to pay it swiftly. And we need to make sure that they do that at whatever the cost. And if $50,000 doesn't get it, we'll go out and we'll get some more. But we're going to find the people who are behind this, and I promise you, there will be some changes. There will be some changes because this is going to be an example for some people. We're not going to keep coming back here having these press conferences because stupid people do stupid stuff that costs people's lives. We're not going to keep doing that.